You know, that did... Wild Boys, what a great video that was. And you were the band I think most of us associate with the first of those exciting, lavish, kind of different videos. Do you think if video hadn't come along at the same time, you would have been as big? Do you think you'd have had as much fun? Do you think you'd have kind of reached the audience you did?
Probably not. You know, it really did help, you know, and it was just... It was the right time. There was so much talent in London at the time. You know, we hooked up with a lot of great people.
I feel bad that you're squeezed on the end there.
All right, I'm cool.
Yeah, you know, especially as they kicked you out years ago, and now we're trying... we're trying to welcome you back in there.
Is that what they said?
Well, because he was threatened by your good looks, clearly. I'm reading between the lines. You're a good-looking man, don't get me wrong. You don't get me wrong, you're a good-looking man, but you've got the look of a farmer about you. Whereas he, you know what I'm saying? Whereas he's a proper heartthrob, isn't he? Was there...
Divide and conquer, lads, divide and conquer.
No, I'm concerned. Was there jealousy in the band? Was that one of the reasons for the riffs to form way back when?
Well, basically, it's very simple. He's the front man,
yeah,
and we're all jealous. Really?
Who got the most attention? Who got the most...
Front man.
The front man. I think John got all the...
Who cares?
Yeah. Nick was my favourite.
Yeah. They got all the attention, but from the wrong people.
Yeah, Nick was my favourite because I thought he was the one I could probably beat in a fight.
You'd be wrong there.
Yeah, I probably would, yeah. But you guys, you seem so much more sort of relaxed, so much more settled. Is this just age, maturity?
Well, I think you are, aren't you? I mean, if you've got years of experience, you know what you're doing, you tell people what you're not going to do, you make the right decisions, and it becomes much easier.
I guess it was some ride you went on there. I mean, it was quite an unusual experience for young men to go to, because you had that success so early on.
It was a lot to handle. I mean, we were kids, really, when we started.
That must have been like when you were... Some of you were like 20, 21, 22 when you first...
My dad had to sign a licence for me to have that picture taken.
Yeah. But, I mean, it must have been, I would have thought, quite hard to deal with when the money started coming in and then you were, you know, you were touring, you were getting off with No Doubts. I imagine...
Getting off with what?
With No Doubt.
I imagine...
Getting off with...
When Stefani was on a regular basis.
I'll tell you what was really tough is I went with John one day, he just bought this new Aston Martin.
Oh, come on. Now, how old were you when you bought an Aston Martin?
He bought it. I can't drive.
How old were you?
20?
You were 22 and you bought an Aston Martin. Second-hand or no?
It was a nightmare.
It was. We were driving through Knightsbridge, driving around thinking, oh, this is kind of nice, these seats, look at this leather. And we just got it to right in front of Harrods, and the thing breaks down.
Well, it always used to happen. It was part of the course you had to go through to own an Aston Martin, you know, see if you could put up with all the bollocks. And, of course, it had five keys as well. Do you remember cars with 5 keys? One for the door, one for the...
Back then, I wasn't even aware Aston Martins existed. Never mind that you could buy one.
Come on, James Bond.
No, I knew it from James Bond, but I wouldn't have thought that it was... You could get close to them, that kids or young men could have that sort of thing. It was like a fantasy. And you were living a fantasy for so many of us, I think, in a way. Especially in the videos, once again, because you projected that. But I think, to an extent, that backfired on you.
The car certainly backfired.
It genuinely did. Very nice.
We couldn't get it started.
Nicely done. The bands at that time, it did seem to me, and I know this is like an old bloke talking, but it seemed to me like it was a more colourful pop scene back then. You had, I mean, there were a few bands now beginning to do it again, but you guys looked spectacular and different and, you know, flamboyant. And we had Culture Club, who looked great as well. Spandau Ballet looked very good as well. Of course, you based yourself on there.
Oh, that's good.
What happened? That was what
You've lost your audience!
We're getting panto mode now.
Anyway, it's a joke. Was there a period when it got boring for you, though? There must be times when the responsibility of earning that kind of money, of living that kind of lifestyle, must actually wear thin.
Roger was saying in an interview the other day, he said we'd just had about 6 #1s in a row, we'd had sold-out audiences absolutely everywhere, Madison Square Gardens, we'd bought the cars, got the houses, girls everywhere, so we decided to stop.
But why was that? Because most people, presumably that was what you hoped to achieve. That's what you were aiming for. Yeah. So when you got there, why do you think this is great, let's maintain this, let's carry on?
I think it happens to a lot of people when they're young. If they have success too young, you just get to a point where you don't appreciate it anymore.
You burn out?
Yeah, I think it's burn out.
Drugs presumably were a factor, because there was a period in the, I guess in the 80s. We know you're clean as a whistle. But I know for a fact, Nick, even to this day, abuses Sonatogen.
And Otravine.
Yeah. And fish tablets for his joints. Have you started on any vitamin supplements? You need to. I've started on the fish oil. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'm vegetarian. Can't do fish oil.
Can't you? What kind of oil can you have?
Massage oil, but not fish oil.
Scented massage oil.
It's not the vitamins. It's not the vitamins.
What is
the nose hair trimmers. That's the indignity of it. It wasn't like that in the 80s.
Who? Okay. Hands up. Who has trimmed their nose hair in the last day or two?
I plucked mine.
You plucked them?
Oh, that's dangerous. Spin my fingers.
John, can I ask you, do you get this? Do you get told you look like me a lot? Because I get that all the time.
There was a
Reminded of
period
you.
when you were 20 years younger.
Yeah, they say, you know, when John was young, you looked just like him. When you were about 18, look at that. See, that's me last week.
That is, isn't it?
Okay, why... Presumably, you all did fantastically well out of the band. I guess you still had some money left over from it. It wasn't cash that brought you back together, was it?
No.
So what was the reason? Why did you decide this was the right time?
One day, everyone spoke, within 24 hours, everyone spoke to each other, and everyone said yes. It's kind of like, will you marry me? Yes, yes, yes.
So it was just the right moment?
Within 24 hours.
It takes a lot to kind of admit that what you did in the past is actually better than what you're doing at the moment. I mean, especially if you're still working. But I think we'd all come to a point where we realised that, you know, we had something very special, and it was worth a phone call to see if we could get it back again. And then we had to, and not only that, then we had to meet and see if we could get on with each other. And then we had to go into a room and see if we could write music together. You know.
But here's what I want to know is, okay, when you make the phone call, who did you suspect would be the least likely to want to join back in? Because you guys never really fell out with each other, did you?
Roger was the reluctant...
But Roger, you went nuts for a couple of years, didn't you?
I knew you were going to say that.
He farms pigs.
Okay, here's how it looks from the outside. I thought you just had enough of it and you maybe got stage fright or you didn't want to do it anymore, simple as that, okay? I got the feeling that you couldn't stand these guys.
You're
okay?
dead right.
Yeah, I got the feeling you two guys were kind of all right about it, but you felt that you were the stars, really. You didn't need those guys. Arcadia's going to be as big as that rubbish. You off being a rock and roll star, you figured, yeah, a bit of power station, get some licks in. Now, am I close? How close am I?
Warm. It is warm in here, isn't it?
Hey, the new Duran Duran album is called Astronaut. The new single is called Sunrise. It's number 3, I believe, this weekend, so congratulations. Isn't it great? They're back in the chart. It's really lovely. On the CD, there's extras and there's stuff you can watch on your computer, and there's some footage. Have a look. This is the band, kind of having quite a lengthy chat about the order of the set. Watch this. You're going to love it.
Is there any reason why we can't get decent glasses in London? Probably got pub measures written on them.
You want to work hard together?
I think that 4-song run is just
very good.
fantastic.
No, I agree.
So we could do Wild Boys After Reflex and then do Careless Memories.
Can we have can we have Night Boat or Tiger Tiger? That's what I really like.
Yeah.
One or the other, or both. No, actually no. Because I left in the chauffeur. I think Tiger Tiger. Instead of no, just put it in. Put it in.
Chauffeur definitely goes down. Storm.
Yes.
Tiger Tiger before the chauffeur then.
Yeah, please. I'd love it. So, and it would go.
Put it before the show.
Yeah, before the chauffeur.
Just stick it in.
Swap your original.
No, don't stick anything. Oh, it's great tonight. What New Moon on Monday?
Oh, we could put New Moon in.
Where?
Well, I suppose we'd have to go instead of Union of the Snake.
I love that.
Great comedy writing.
It's like Spinal Tap meets The Office. Yeah.
That would be a good way to
It's
put
a
it.
good
We used to have wild parties afterwards. Now,
I
we do
bet
that.
now you sit around eating bananas and you flashing at the rest of the band. They don't want to see that, Le Bon. They know what you're paying.
They don't want to
Each
see
pixel has an individual name.
Okay, you're going to perform live first. Come on. Before you go, I've got a present for you.
It's not a puffin, is it?
No. I'm all out of puffins, I'm sorry. We were talking before the show about toys that we grew up with. I have quite an extensive collection, unfortunately. I brought you in, as a present, an original Johnny 7 gun.
That was it.
It's got the launcher on it and everything.
That was it.
You see, this is the one my mother would never buy for me.
You know,
I had a friend that had
Jonathan.
Watch it.
You want a piece of me, Le Bon? You want a piece of me? You want a piece of this? Say hello to my little friend.
I tell you what, he's always wanted to control the bands.
Jonathan, you know the only thing is, you're
I'm busy.
firing blanks. You're firing blanks.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah, where's the box?
That's yours to keep. Please cherish it. Think of me every time you shoot someone. We're cut from the same cloth. Gentlemen, do you need any help with the song? Can I assist in any way? Do you want me to count in? Do you want me to stand behind you with the bells?
Just stay with the bells over.
Why don't you head off and get ready to perform? We're going to enjoy the song in a minute. It's been lovely seeing you here on the show. Thank you so much for coming on. It's great to have you back, not only on the programme, but together as a band. Nice to John. Thank you so much. Thanks, Pat. That was great. Duran Duran, ladies and gentlemen. You can go off. You can go off. Get ready. I'll save it for you. It's yours.
Okay, I'll put this down.